Being breakers. We might as well name the role, acknowledge that there is more than mere certainty in the likelihood that we have broken a great many more things than we know how to fix. Breakers. Shame and difficulty in that name, but also the latitude to figure out many of the other rules that could use to be broken. Smashing the patriarchy, reminding and learning with each other how we hold things together. Breakers and menders, both now, stretching to capacity many days, while also keeping all those needed to stay strong enough to work together, facing anger, love, resourced enough to continue together, anger held warmly by love, even when it's hard to shake that want of some things made not a problem for you, or even a feared one. Training, constantly, learning, finding effective rests and grandmother's warrior heart. Spirit mosquito, or disparagement encouragement, the weapons of the weak in the hands of privilege. The politics of disparagement unfurl with class distinctions. Those of us who are not them, those people, not in a sorry way, but in the wish we had what they have, so much we can't help but hate them way. Those people think they're us, more often than you would expect from how full their bellies look when they're trying to get our attention. But it's not clear they know or acknowledge knowing they're playing this because they're trying to get our attention, except the smug ones who clearly do know, with that smugness that's part of the machismo bullshit confidence that lets people know they can get away with shit. So I understand the call to be strong and to not disparage, to love God and neighbor without distinction. And I find it easier to love and forgive and heal when I am not silenced from protecting my sisters from the same injury, when I can tell moral injury stories, not with excess disparagement, but with enough to be meaningful. Without that, we risk a harm of being nice, profound visibilization of the translational, palliative, transformative dueling of the whole paradigm shift work. Because we choose to do this labor, we compensate. It may seem cheap, but that way you could never afford to pay for. But don't ever undervalue that honest care, caution, repair work that stands up to bullies, calls them by their names, loves them, maybe, probably, but doesn't let them play chicken with other people's well-being, holds accountable, teaches, before the legs are pulled off the frog, before the child is berated to make him look big, before the culture has to be reclaimed. Those of us whose questions have been shushed enough times might need to compress some meeting into a container as sharp as disparagement for the poke to be felt, not just swatted away. Task and ritual. In task attack, I scavenge anomaly, consuming fear into motivation. In ritual, I allow myself to be carried, struggle against tendencies to transition to the second person. I'm here, in my body, in my environment, with the land and community that holds me. Feeling everything. Metabolizing sensations enough to feel where capacities need to be shifted, built, maintained, repaired, to continue to cycle this living continuously. I'm adding intermediate thanks because of you, and because you will hear your words in this. Sally, this is you. Renunciation, enunciation. Renunciation. This is not my fear. You have inherited, and I have been asked to heal. sharing and relearning the courage to be ourselves without hesitating to renounce false fear. I'm done with this. It's not mine, anyways. Annunciation. Instead of being feared and fearing, what if we were loved so much we thought we'd die from being held like this? Tied to places we've poured love into by all these strands of birth and rot that make up living free on earth. And the second half, humility. To be mainly, not trying to influence, to escape the gravity of explanation, deciding, naming, claiming, before any experiencing, thanking, offering, honoring. Hubris in hand with our hat, curled in a relaxed and then excited grip in turns, under an intermittent and yet so constant sun, able to bask hatless, but ready for change. Prepared through enough relationship, collaboration, to get us through hard times, together, everybody. How can you not ask the question, what way works to hold the intention, the relationships, supports needed for this moment, now, here, to repair, to celebrate, to atone, at one, together in ways we negotiate, to find consent for invitation, reparation for genocides by uninvited guests. We know how that could ever start any relationship is unfathomable, but what other choices have we inherited? How can we support spaces? How can we hold spaces that support reciprocity enough for us to nourish learning together? Effigy. Effigy is how I experience prose these days. Another object of knowledge valorized, added to the economy, described with the efficiency and graceless poise of the colonial administrative state, like a sliver that has gotten into the flesh of my best ideas and steadily turned them wooden, expediently marching onward toward bright lights of progress, expository where an offering was needed, a great request for love met with explanation. For now, and this is a poem particularly written in a conversation with Hozan. Expiatory essaying, this teacher pain, breathing through a shocking disappointment that it is dancing that undoes me, calculating so many days till the next, perhaps, salvation, dosing self of poison, those wonder drug miracles you can have only so many days until you cannibalize yourself. This metaphor too attractive to avoid, but effort avoiding seems all the more valuable. Breathing through right now and right now, knowing shock and dismay will dissipate as they transmogrify through the movements they take to metabolize. Some of these more painful, but some less. Relinquishing expectation takes work, but is potentially efficient. My exercise has become rest. New position in the hammock, summarily rejected, then acclimated to, slowly, breath by breath as the hammock swings, learning how not to resist a little more, breathing into what effort and relinquishment allow. Rest in this place, at this moment, for now. And the last poem, with a particular shout out to my home community and to Melvin Giles, who's been my community chaplaincy mentor, and also with thanks to the Santa Fe Art Institute community, who's been my community of practice, that really introduced me to Upaya in person and has held me here. Meaning offered where meaning is scarce. With love to the cohort teachers, to Mary, and to A.R. Ammons. Not just like being in the retinue of a prophet, but actually there. We walk streets where I would not usually be welcome, as I am humbled entirely by fists bumped on hearts, deference and respect, dignity and pride, elder recognized amongst the people. The honor is not mine to carry. I open myself to its flowing through our fellowship, hold the clarity as I re-enter the everyday muck, resist distancing myself, from suffering through pity, fear, and problem solving, decline, demand, defend, distract. Sitting stabilizes the field we're in and allows us relationships that help make wise decisions, we are told, to hold us against recoil, building our capacity by stepping away from situations and asking for support, not getting carried away by task. Common shadows include the violence of conflicting tasks. Surrendering to too many demands is to succumb to this violence, warned monk Thomas Merton. Thank you, Petra. So we ask humbly where we really are with moral repair, not throwing ourselves away to serve somebody else. Moral repair asks us to build trust amidst betrayal, to take responsibility in meeting challenge with integrity, with curiosity about our tendencies to demand, defect, defend, distract, block our capacity to be a portal to those we serve, with those we serve. How do we express altruism generatively? Resourcing ourselves and facing with open arms our shadow sides, where we find ourselves depleted, and figure out how to offer meaning where meaning is scarce. Say what's so when it's so. Let love shake our bodies like a devastation. Thank you for feeling the love of the land through your own experiences.
About 25 years ago, somebody gave me a copy of the Pocket Pema Chodron, which I keep in my car. And I pull it out when I'm sitting in a parking lot or waiting for someone. And my partner told me a long time ago, oh, don't worry about it. Just open it to a random page and Pema will always give you what you need to hear. And so when I saw you right after breakfast standing outside over there, that popped into my head. And I just had this thought, I wonder what Valentine has for me to hear. So I went in and I just opened up your beautiful, evocative, befuddling, and I mean that in the most positive way, really and truly, paper, and I just spun through it. And I landed immediately on the poem that you read, but there's one stanza I'd like to read again, which is humility. And it just pierced me. The first stanza where I landed was, to be mainly not trying to influence, to escape the gravity of explanation, deciding, naming, claiming, before any experiencing, thanking, offering, honoring. So I just want to thank you for giving me, through your inner chaplaincy journey, exactly the right medicine that I needed.
That was just awesome. And this beautiful art that you've put here, I look at it and I saw the hole in the earth from Leah's project and from the women in their hands. And I just felt like we had a moment to experience it ourselves here with you. It also strikes me, Valentine, this journey of self-stewardship and honoring your own earth that you're made of, your very body, and the reflection of how you're taking care of the earth that we walk upon are one and the same. And I just want to bow to your courage and to your fearlessness around that, and to the true artist that you really are. That is such a gift you give. Thank you for this beautiful experience.
I feel like this project is itself sanctuary. And the space that you generated in this space drawing people to the altar of your presence, and also returning to the importance of beauty. You know, there are many ways to express chaplaincy. And for me, under all of those ways, the medium of art, the medium of beauty, expresses morality and tenderness that is exemplified through what you have done. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Roshi.
Thank you, Valentine.